In example 3, you are given two functions, okay, and you are asked to find these three things, okay. What you're doing here is you're evaluating a composite function, so you're just plugging a number into a composite function. So that's basically what we've been doing in parts E and F for examples 1 and 2, okay. So let's take a look at the first one, okay. Luckily, there's no fractions here. Okay, so again, when you see something like this, obviously you're dealing with composition because of the circle. This does not mean multiply f of g by 4. That's not what it means. It means you're going to take the function f of g and you're plugging in 4 to that function, okay? So to solve this, you can do what we did in examples 1 and 2. You can actually find the function f of g, and then once you have it, you can plug in 4. There's actually a simpler way. I'm going to do it both ways so you can see you do get the same answer, and it is your call, your preference, which way you want to do it, okay? All right, so I'm going to go over here and I'm going to form the function f of g. Okay, so f of g of x. Okay, so in this case, we are plugging g into f. Okay, so I am going to write down my outside function, the one I'm plugging into, so that's 2x. Okay, everywhere I see an x, I am going to replace it with g of x, which is 3x squared plus 1. Okay, so this is going to be 2 times 3x squared plus 1. Okay, so if I simplify this, this is going to be 6x squared plus 2. Okay, so that is my function f of g. Okay, so then if I want f of g of 4, I just need to plug 4 into this equation. So I would get 6 times 4 squared plus 2. So that's going to give me 6 times 16 plus 2. That is 96 plus 2, and I get 98 out of it. Okay, so remember, you are plugging something in, you're plugging in the 4, you should be getting something out. Okay, so all I did for this first part was actually find the function f of g and then plug 4 into it. Okay, what you could have also done, and this will also give you an answer of 98. Okay, it's a little shortcut. You don't actually have to form the function first. You can actually do this. Okay, and I'm going to kind of color code it here. Okay, so we are looking for f of g of 4. Okay, and this is the same thing as f of, I'm going to put the inside in a different color. Okay, so this g of 4, I'm going to put in a different color. Okay, so okay, I'm going to go out to the side here. And if you notice, g of 4 is on the inside. Okay, I'm going to go out to the side here and I'm going to calculate g of 4. Okay, so this means go to g. Everywhere you see an x, you're going to put a 4. So here's g of x. Okay, so this is going to be 3 times 4 squared plus 1. Okay, this is going to be 3 times 16 plus 1. So you're going to get 48 plus 1, you get 49. Okay, so g of 4 is the same thing as 49. Okay, so whatever's in red is equivalent. Okay, this is the same thing as f, and then g of 4 is the same thing as 49. Okay, so then what I can do, f of 49, that means go to f, and everywhere you see x, plug in 49. So this would be just 2 times 49. That would give you 98 as well. Okay, without having to form the composition. Okay. All right. So like I said, you can do either way you want. If you would prefer to form the composite function and then plug in the number, that's fine. If you want to break it down and figure out what number is inside the parentheses, get that number and then plug it into the outside function. It's up to you. Okay. All right. Let's try these other two parts B and C. And since we've had a lot of practice with forming the function and then plugging in the number, I'll do parts B and C using this method just for some practice with that. Okay. All right. So let's see here. I'm going to go ahead and put, okay, let's do it this way. So I'm going to go ahead and write this down. This is G of F of 2. And then I'm going to kind of color code it. Let me put a line here so we can separate these two problems. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and color code it. So whatever's on the inside, okay, I'm going to put F of 2 in a different color. Okay, so we can kind of track it. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is figure out what number is on the inside. Okay, so I'm going to come down here and I'm going to find F of 2. Okay, so go to F, everywhere you see X, plug in 2. Okay, so this is going to be 2 times 2, which is 4. Okay, so that tells us F of 2 is 4. Okay, so we're going to come back up here. Okay, to do this, to evaluate this composite, it's going to be G of F of 2, but we know F of 2 is the same thing as 4. Okay, so now we just need to plug 4 into G. So go to G, everywhere you see an X, put a 4. Okay, so G's up there. Okay, so this is going to be 3 times 4 squared plus 1. Okay, that's going to give us 3 times, only the 4 squared, 3 times 16 plus 1. That's going to give us 48 plus 1. The answer here is 49. Okay. All right. Let's try part C. I'll go ahead and separate this one out as well. All right, so I'm going to do this one with the same method. Okay, so, all right. So I am going to write G of 0. Okay, and again, I'm going to work with what's on the inside first. I'm going to color code it in red. Okay, so inside the parentheses, I have G of 0, and I'm going to go and figure out what that is. Okay, so G of 0, plug 0 into G. So we're going to get 3 times 0 squared plus 1. This is going to be 3 times 0 plus 1, so we're going to get 1. Okay, so in my next step, okay, I'm going to go back up here. Okay, I have G on the outside, and on the inside, I have G of 0, which we just figured out is 1. So now I need to go to G up here, plug in 1 for X. Okay, so we're going to get 3 times 1 squared plus 1. It's going to give us 3 times 1 plus 1, so we're going to get 3 plus 1. 4 is our answer. Okay, and that's how you do these.